He stood by the glass window of his 54th floor office, looking down at the city that bowed to his name. Damien Holt, billionaire CEO of Holt Industries, known for precision, power, and perfection. People said he could smell weakness from a mile away. And that morning, when he saw a janitor in the lobby, trembling as two guards escorted him out, Damien's cold blue eyes narrowed in disgust. The man had pawned a company violin. "A violin," Damien repeated, almost laughing at the absurdity. It was one of the antique pieces displayed in Holt Hall, worth more than the janitor's lifetime salary. "Fire him," Damien said without a flicker of hesitation, "and make sure he's blacklisted. If a man can't respect what's not his, he deserves nothing." But the truth had a way of finding its moment, and it would come crashing into Damien's perfect life in the most unexpected way. 2 weeks later, Damien was hosting the annual Holt Foundation Gala, a night where the city's richest gathered to congratulate themselves under chandeliers worth millions. Cameras flashed, champagne glasses clinked, and the orchestra began to play. Damien's 10-year-old daughter, Clara, was set to perform for the first time that night. She had begged him to let her, said she'd been practicing a special song for weeks. He had agreed, mostly to silence her persistence, not realizing how deeply that moment would carve into his soul. The lights dimmed. Clara stepped onto the stage holding a small violin, the same pawned instrument. Damien froze. His breath hitched. His pulse stopped. He couldn't mistake it. The delicate scratch near the tailpiece, the faint initials carved on the underside, A.M., the janitor's name, Arthur Miller. The audience fell silent as Clara began to play. Her bow trembled at first, then steadied. The melody was raw, not perfect, but alive. Every note seemed to carry something invisible, something aching, something human. The sound filled the hall, not with luxury, but with longing. Damien felt something inside him twist, a sensation he hadn't allowed himself in years. Guilt. He left his table abruptly, heart pounding. His assistant followed him out. "Sir, what's wrong?" "Where did she get that violin?" His voice came out low, almost a growl. From the music teacher at her school," the assistant stammered. "Apparently a friend donated it after losing his job." Damien didn't hear the rest. His mind had already connected the pieces. The janitor hadn't stolen the violin to sell it for greed. He had pawned it to save someone. He spent the next day tracking Arthur Miller. It wasn't easy. The man had disappeared after being fired. No address, no calls, no trace. Finally, a local pawn shop owner remembered him. Said Arthur came by often to check if the violin had sold. He said it was his wife's, the shopkeeper recalled. She used to play for their little girl before she passed away. He only pawned it 'cause his kid got sick, hospital bills. Never meant no harm. Damien's chest tightened. He remembered the report, the security footage showing Arthur leaving Holt Hall with the violin wrapped in cloth. He had looked scared, not sneaky. For the first time, the CEO who owned everything realized he had seen nothing. That evening, Damien's black car pulled up to a worn-out apartment building. He climbed the steps, finding Arthur's door cracked open. Inside, the janitor sat beside a hospital bed where a frail little girl slept. Tubes, monitors, quiet beeps. The violin case lay on a chair beside her. Arthur turned when he heard him. "Mr. Holt?" His voice was thin, tired. "I can't give it back yet. She's getting better, and she loves hearing her mom's songs. I'll find a way to repay—" Damien stopped him. He had no words ready. The power in his voice, the confidence people feared, was gone. "Arthur," he said quietly, "you don't owe me anything." He looked at the girl. No older than Clara. Her cheeks were pale, but when she smiled faintly in her sleep, it was the same warmth his daughter had when she played. Something cracked inside him. "Keep the violin," Damien whispered. "And if you'll let me, I want to help." Arthur's eyes filled. "Why?" he asked. "After what you did?" Damien swallowed hard. "Because I was wrong. And because your daughter reminded mine that music isn't about worth. It's about love." Weeks passed. Damien quietly paid for the girl's treatment. He visited often, sometimes bringing Clara, who would sit beside the bed and play soft duets with her new friend. The two girls would laugh, and their laughter filled the small apartment like sunlight. For the first time in years, Damien felt what all his millions had never given him, peace. One night, Arthur handed him a worn envelope. Inside was a photo of his late wife holding the violin, smiling in a way that made Damien's throat tighten. "She used to say," Arthur murmured, "that music heals the heart faster than time ever could." Damien nodded slowly. She was right. He left the apartment with tears in his eyes, the same man, but no longer the same heart. Months later, at the next Holt Gala, the audience gathered again, this time for a performance that would be remembered forever. Two girls stepped onto the stage, Clara and Emily Miller. One held the same old violin, now restored and shining. "This song," Clara said into the mic, "is for my dad, who learned that sometimes the poorest hearts carry the richest music." As they played, Damien stood among the crowd, tears slipping silently down his face. Because that night, the man who once judged a janitor for pawning a violin finally understood that true wealth isn't measured in what you own, but in what you choose to give.